What's up, Aries? I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. My name is Mel and welcome to my channel, Divine Feminine Works. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, and spirituality. So if those are the things that interest you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, Aries, this is your September 2020 reading. I hope that this video indeed does find you well and that you're healthy and safe and that your life isn't too hectic or crazy right now. We've all got enough to deal with the craziness that's going on. Hopefully that hasn't permeated into your personal life. But speaking of your personal life, before we get into the tarot reading, I wanted to give you an astrological forecast for September, specifically for you, Aries, so you know exactly what's going on, what energies to expect, and how best to prepare. So let's get into it. So this month we've got three major things going on. The first is Mars going retrograde in the sign of Aries. That has happened on September 9th. Second, we have Jupiter going direct in the sign of Capricorn, and that is happening on September 12th. And finally, we have Saturn also going direct in the sign of Capricorn on September 29th. So we've got three planets that are shifting gears. So we can most definitely expect for certain areas of our life to be shifting gears as well. It's not going to be too crazy, but there is, again, going to be a shift. So it's definitely best to know how to prepare and what to expect. So let's talk about Mars first. Mars first entered the sign of Aries, and Aries is its home sign back in June. So being in its home sign, Mars is super comfortable, and its energy is very potent. Speaking of energy, the energy of Mars is very combative. In Greek mythology, Aries is the god of war, and that's exactly the type of energy that Mars exudes. Mars is all about fighting, physical activity, conflict, aggression, endurance, stamina, being headstrong, being opinionated, being selfish. Those are all the characteristics of Mars energy. So once it reached its home sign, Aries, back in June, Mars was like ready to go, super happy, being really combative, ready to fight, you know, lots of energy, all of that stuff. Aries is actually your first house. And it's the natural placement for Mars. So Mars loves it. And first house is all about self. Like I said, Mars energy is very selfish. So you've been focused on you, your needs, what you've got going on. Since June, it's been all about you. But not even just in that sense, it's also about your physical body. Perhaps there are things that you've wanted to change about your physical appearance. Maybe you wanted to start working out. Maybe you wanted to bulk up, tone up, or slim down. You've been really working on you. You've been putting a lot of energy into yourself and into your personal development since June. And I feel like to a certain extent, you've seen some pretty good results because Mars is, again, it's a force of nature. It's the ram. It's that headstrong energy that's going full speed ahead. So now what's going to happen when Mars goes retrograde? When a planet goes retrograde, its energy becomes recalled. And that just basically means that the energy that it had before, it just doesn't have it. It's moving backwards, it's sluggish, it's lethargic, it's slow. It's almost as if the planet just stops for a bit and then goes backwards. So think about hitting the rewind button. That's exactly sort of what retrograde energy is like generally. And retrograde energy, when a planet goes retrograde for however long it goes retrograde, it's a great opportunity to reassess, reevaluate, re-examine, all the re's. Every re that you can think of is indicative of retrograde time. Now, Mars being retrograde in your first house, those gains, those body gains that you were achieving since June, you might find that they plateau because the energy is not there anymore. You might even feel like you don't even have any physical energy to work out or to do things that you want to do because you just feel sluggish or lazy or unmotivated. I feel like for a lot of you, you're just not going to feel motivated, and that's really going to frustrate you. If you thought that you were having issues with people before, if you thought that, you know, there was conflict with other people before, this Mars retrograde period might produce even more conflict. So best advice with this particular energy is lay low. Don't get into any arguments with anybody. You may feel like you want to pop off. I mean, Aries, you typically are. Y'all are the fighters of the zodiac. Just try to be easy this month. Well, actually not this month, for the next 2 months, because Mars will be retrograde in the sign of Aries until November 13th. So from now until then, just be easy, lay low, stay out of conflicts. You'll be all right. Next, let's talk about Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to be going direct on September 12th. And to talk about Jupiter, we need to talk about Saturn too, because Saturn is also going to be going direct. And these two planets are currently conjunct. They're currently next to each other. Their energies are mixing together because they're so close together. And you also got to talk about Pluto, because Pluto is conjunct these two planets also. So it's this big melting pot of Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter. And their energies are all mixing together. These are three. Jupiter and Saturn especially are massive planets, real heavy, real intense. But Pluto, although technically not a planet, for astrology purposes, it is. And its energy is very transformative. It's very dark and very heavy. So wherever these three planets are in your chart and they're all together is where you're experiencing a great amount of upheaval, a great amount of change, of transformation, of ups and downs. And for you, Aries, this is happening in your 10th house of career and public life. This great conjunction that they're calling it has been in place all of 2020, will remain in place throughout 2020 and into 2021. So when it comes to your career, Aries, you've probably experienced a lot of ups and a lot of downs. You may have lost a job. Your career may have taken a very drastic turn. You may be doing something that you originally didn't anticipate doing. Like, your career is really in flux. And that's not a bad thing, because things need to change. Things can't stay stagnant. Otherwise, there's no growth. Now, when we talk about Jupiter, Jupiter is considered a positive planet. Jupiter has very positive energy. Jupiter energy is concerned with optimism, abundance, good luck, fortune, expansion, all of those positive things that we like in life. So when Jupiter is operating normally, it has the energy to do those things. It has the energy to give those gifts. It has the energy to bestow and sprinkle blessings wherever it is located in your chart. However, Jupiter has been retrograde since May. It's about to turn direct on the 12th, but between May and now, Jupiter has been slow. Jupiter hasn't had the energy to rain those blessings on your life. So in places where, and I'm sure over the last couple of months, there have been times where you were like, damn, I could really use some good luck right now. It just wasn't able to happen because Jupiter was debilitated. But now that it's going direct, now Jupiter can sprinkle all of those great blessings on your career and public life. At the same time, we've got Saturn. Saturn is almost like the opposite of Jupiter in terms of energy. Whereas Jupiter is optimistic, is abundant, is concerned with good fortune and luck, Saturn is concerned with obstacles, delays, fears, doubts, hard lessons, karma. That's how Saturn operates normally. And with Saturn having been in your 10th house of career and public life, if you were experiencing any setbacks, any hardships, any delays, that was probably due to Saturn energy. Now, the good thing is that when Saturn was retrograde, Saturn originally went retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. Well, went retrograde in Aquarius and then moved back into Capricorn, but that's not too important right now. Saturn was able to tone down all of that negative energy that it usually exudes. So whereas it would throw a lot of roadblocks your way and a lot of challenges, Saturn just wasn't able to do that because it was debilitated because it was retrograde. So if you notice, if you're taking notice, it's like we've got a positive and a negative going on in the same space. And both of these are about to go direct. So before, there wasn't much of anything happening because both of these planets were basically at rest. Now that they're going direct, it's like full steam ahead. Saturn can, you know, throw roadblocks and challenges in your way, and Jupiter can sprinkle blessings. So you've got this up and down energy that's going on in your 10th house of career and public life. And when you throw Pluto in the mix, it's like throwing a bomb right on it. Like when the bomb explodes, whatever is destroyed was meant to be destroyed. So if something within your career or your public life has disintegrated, that's for a very good reason. Let it. Don't revisit it. Don't try to revive it. Let it die, because there's new things that are coming up. This is what's been going on in your 10th house. So trust me, I understand it's probably been crazy and very frustrating, but positivity is ahead, most definitely. All of this is change for the better. Just remember that. So even on those really difficult days, remember that there's always a silver lining, and there is indeed a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You just got to get through some rainy days in order to get there. Moving on, let's talk about the sun. We can't talk about astro forecast without talking about the sun. The sun is currently in Virgo. It's been there since August 22nd, and it will remain there until September 23rd. Virgo is your 6th house. Your 6th house is all about work and health. So from the end of August until the 23rd of this month, you've probably been focused on your day-to-day activities, you know, working, doing things around the house, being of service to others, typical errands, your day-to-day stuff. That's what you've been focused on. That is going to shift once the sun moves into Libra on September 23rd. Once the sun moves into Libra, now your focus and your energy is going to be directed toward relationships, perhaps improving them, or just being more social. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're trying to get booed up or that your focus is solely going to be on your partner. And mind you, relationships, it's of all kinds. It's romantic. It's not necessarily romantic, but it's personal and it's business and everything in between. That's going to be your focus towards the end of this month, going into and through October. All right, Aries, so that's been your astro forecast for September. Now let's get into the tarot reading and see what messages Spirit has for you this month. All right, let's get 3 cards here for Aries for September 2020. Oh my gosh, everyone has been getting this card. This is time for a nap. Everyone's got to rest. I feel like almost every zodiac sign has gotten this card, or at least majority of signs have gotten this card. Everyone needs to like be easy. Poised. And observer. I don't know if you can see that. Observer. And at the bottom of the deck, what was I just saying? At the bottom of the deck, we've got milk and honey. You see that rainbow? There is indeed a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You just got to get through the rain first. That land of milk and honey is definitely waiting for you. All right. I feel like this has to do with your career. I feel like with the great conjunction going on in your 10th house of career and public life, like I said before, it's a lot of up and down energy. Push, pull, start, stop, go, stop. Like that's sort of what you're experiencing. Instead of trying to like ride that wave, there are going to be times where you've got to ride the wave and you got to roll with the punches. But I feel like for this month, just sit everything out. Take a breather. Take a nap. Take some time out. But use this time. I'm not saying like be lazy and not do anything. I'm saying take some time out because there's certain things that Spirit wants you to see. There's certain things that you need to look at, observe, take notice of so that you will be poised to advance in your career. See how this fairy or whatever it is on that pedestal? That's where you're meant to go. But you're not going to get there if you are riding the wave, if you are trying to navigate this energy and be all over the place. Aries, you're very much a physical sign. Like, again, you're ruled by Mars, and Mars is all about physical activity. So you really want to put in the work. I feel like you always feel like you need to do something. And Spirit is like, this month, don't do anything. The only thing I need you to do is observe. Take notice. Look around you. Because there's something you need to see that's going to set you up lovely in terms of your career. All right, let's get some more cards on here and see what this is really about. Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is all about everything that you want. Wishes fulfilled. Eight of Cups. All right, so immediately y'all are like in your feelings. Y'all are feeling some things. I feel like when it comes to what you want, there's certain things that you have to let go of. There's certain emotions that you have to let go of. I'm hearing stop trying to escape. I don't know if that resonates for someone, if that makes sense to someone, but that's what I'm hearing. Stop trying to escape. Maybe for some of you, you're escaping your feelings. And I feel like by constantly trying to do things, I feel like you're getting farther away from what it is that you want. Stop doing and observe. Don't do, observe. Let's get some more cards out here. This is the Magician. You have the power to make this happen. With these cups here and the Magician card, I feel like there's a certain part of you that you need to tap into, like your intuitive side. Again, you guys are very headstrong. You guys are you're very passionate, right? But when it comes to your feelings, when it comes to your intuition, that may not take precedence for you. And I feel like by tapping into your intuition, there's a lot that you'll be able to create for yourself. There's a lot you'll be able to create for yourself. And also this time out that you're taking to observe, I feel like there are certain ideas that are going to come to you that'll be beneficial to you. Here you are, the Emperor, the Emperor. Yeah, some of you want to branch out on your own and have your own business. Some of y'all really want to be the boss. I think with everything that's going on with your career, some of you may realize that there's no stability there, and you would rather create the stability on your own, which is not a bad idea. And then we've got the Devil. This is Capricorn energy. This is what's going on in your career and public life. This is that Capricorn energy when it comes to your career. You're very ambitious. You're very driven. And you kind of see how you have this guy up there, and then he's got these people in those little bubbles or those circles under him. To me, that shows like you having your own organization, like you being the boss. You calling the shots. Yeah, I feel like it's a business idea that you're going to get once you quiet down and observe. Also, for some of you, I'm hearing, if you're still employed, like at an organization, observe how they are organized and how they do business. You'll either find that you want to model your business after them, or you can learn from their mistakes. All right, let's get one more card out here. The Hierophant. Yeah, you guys are poised to be in a high position. Like I said, some of you, it's going to be of your own business, like CEO, owner. you know, all of that stuff. For others of you, I feel like you're going to be elevated within your particular industry or within your particular organization. There's a lot of stuff that Spirit is setting up for you right now. The only thing that you need to do this month is to take that time out and get in touch with your intuition. Your intuition can show you a lot that your brain cannot. And it's not just on some spiritual woo-woo type shit. I know. My intuition has helped me make some of the best business decisions. It's guided me to places where I wouldn't have normally gone had I not listened to my intuition. It's invaluable. It's almost like your secret weapon. And I feel like that's what you need to develop this month. And that takes time. And that takes like observing and being quiet. Intuition is not headstrong. Intuition isn't all up in your face. It's quiet. It observes. It assesses the energy of the environment around you. It's like, Aries, y'all need to read the room. Stop charging into the room, demanding respect, demanding attention. I'm sure not all of you are like that, but that's sort of that Aries sort of thing. It's like in your face, direct, which is always a great thing. But you need to tap into the softer side of you. The side that's intuitive, the side that commands attention, not demands attention. Spirit is really working on this for you. And that's sort of indicative of the astrology. A lot of people think that astrology is so far off from divination and it's so far off from tarot and it's just its own thing, which it very much is its own thing, don't get me wrong. But the two are so connected in such a beautiful way. You see how there's this major arcana here. Major arcana is all about the things that you don't have control over. It's the workings of spirit. What do you think the planets are? Do you really think that you have control over the planetary energies? Those are the planetary energies. You don't control them. You work with them. It's the same thing. Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in your career house, they are working things out for you. And that's evidenced by these cards. We've got Saturn here, definitely. There's a lot of changes going on that you can't necessarily control. And honestly, I don't think that you'd want to, because Spirit always does things better than we could ever do them. They might not be in the ways that we expect, but it's always for our greatest good if you allow it to be. And I feel like that's exactly what's going on. So rest, because know that Spirit is at work. With this reading, you know what the energies are now. Now you know what to observe, what to look for, what to be open to, so that when everything is said and done, this is you on a pedestal, poised for success. Again, some of you are like leaders in your industry. Some of you are like high priests. Like high priest status in your industry, in your organization. It's like y'all have the keys, if you notice. Y'all have the keys. I'm hearing y'all have the keys to the vault. It's good stuff that's going on. You just have to allow it. You see how there's this lamb here? At the bottom of this Emperor card, and like I said, the Emperor is you. It's about having peace. Like I said before, with Mars going retrograde, this is really not a time to get into conflict with other people. Let this be a time of peace and listening to your intuition. Your intuition is going to tell you which way to go. It's going to tell you what you really want. It's also going to tell you what you need to leave behind and what you need to let go of. If you listen to it, if you allow yourself to listen to it. And at the bottom of the deck, we've got the High Priestess. which is the counterpart to the Hierophant, I feel like, you know how I was just saying before that you guys are headstrong, you guys are really get up and go, that physical energy, but you need to tap into your other side. It's like these are your two sides, especially with the Emperor right here as well. Being headstrong, being very direct is one thing. Being intuitive, soft, commanding, reading the room is another. And this is the essence of intuition. The High Priestess is she is the mistress of intuition. And Spirit is like, if you would just listen to that intuition, honey, I will take you to the land of milk and honey. Like, most definitely. Most definitely. All right, let's get some more cards out here and see if there are some other messages. We've got distant horizons on this Nine of Cups. I feel like some of you really want to expand. Some of you may be wanting to get into a business that's international, or maybe move overseas, or start doing business internationally. I'm hearing, like, especially like on the internet, like y'all want to start selling things internationally, shipping things internationally, things of that nature. Like, that's really what you want to do. Let's get one on the Eight of Cups. We've got two here. I'll take them. We've got the main man and the mature man. A lot of male energy here. Aries is very male energy, so that doesn't surprise me. And this goes back to what I was saying before. You have this we all have male and female within us. We have male energies, male characteristics, female characteristics. Your male characteristics, your uber male characteristics, and even if you're a female, like I said, you've got male characteristics as well. You really need to tap into your female characteristics. Female characteristics are they're receptive. If you think of male, you think of the phallus, you think of the sword. Those are outward. Female is the cup, the holy grail. It's receptive. It receives. You guys need to stop doing and start receiving. That's where your intuition lies, in the act of receiving. You're receiving messages from spirit. You're receiving messages from environment. Like I said, Aries, you're reading the room. You're reading the room. You're like, you're very much, you know how to do things, and y'all know how to do things really well. But now you got to start receiving. Now you've got to tap into that feminine energy. And it's going to work like magic in your life, honestly. I mean, we've got the High Priestess here. This is someone who is very magical. Very magical. For others of you, I'm just going to keep it real. I feel like some of you are going to go to someone who can help you perform magic with respect to this situation, what's going on in your life. That's for very few of you. But once you tap into that feminine energy, that receptive, intuitive energy, it's going to do wonders for you. I'm telling you. All right. Let's get one on the Magician. That's too many. Let's get one on the Magician. Toil and labor. Yeah, I feel like once you tap into this feminine energy, it's like it's really going to start working for you. It's really going to start working for you in the right way. All right. Let's get one on the Emperor. We've got mature woman. So we've got a pair here. We've got mature man and mature woman. See, once again, this goes back to tapping into that feminine energy. Once you tap into that feminine energy, that High Priestess energy, this is where you're going to be sitting. And it's like this card is typically male. I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype genders, but this card is typically male, but it's come out with the mature woman. First of all, side note, it's like the feminine is rising right now. Especially if you're an Aries woman hearing this, yo, it's really the feminine's time. I'm not saying death to the patriarchy, never, because we need both. We always need both. But the feminine is rising right now. The feminine is rising to positions of power. It's our time. And that is what I'm feeling with this Emperor and Mature Woman card. It's like, again, tapping into that feminine energy, that receptive energy, that intuitive energy is going to get you to the top. It's not, things are not being taken by brute force. You see what's going on in society. You see how the patriarchy is suffering right now for how they've been approaching things in life. It's time to change things. It's time to approach things from a different perspective. It's not about getting rid of men. It's not about debilitating men. That's not what it is. It's about using your feminine energy. All of us using our feminine energy to get places, to get things, to get status. It's using your feminine energy, your intuitive, creative energy. Let's get one on the devil. Again, we've got occupation. This is your 10th house. This is just letting me know and reminding me that this all has to do with your career and public life. It's undergoing a complete overhaul. It's also saying don't be entirely attached to one particular occupation right now, because that might change. Once you do this observation and once you channel your divine feminine, your occupation might change, your career might change. So don't be tied down to one particular thing right now. Let's get one on the Hierophant. We've got concern. This just lets me know that this is something that you're really thinking about. And I feel like there are people around you that are really concerned, because I feel like they see where you're at, and it makes them concerned. But it's nothing to worry about. But I also feel like you need to be concerned about getting to here. I know you already are, but I feel like that's what you need to be concerned about. Again, but doing it in a way that is tapping into your feminine energy. At the bottom of this deck, we have poverty. Please get out of this mindset. This is where we're headed. We're headed towards the land of milk and honey. There's no room for this there. So, no, X that out. Actually, let's just throw that away. Like, no. None of that here. None of that here. All right. So let's get 3 astrology cards to close out the reading. We've got Taurus. Taurus is your 2nd house of finance. So there may be something that you need to examine in your 2nd house that may clue you into how I'm hearing reverse engineering. So instead of thinking what career can make you the money, think about the money and then about the career, if that makes any sort of sense. Or there may be a Virgo here that you may want to go into business with, or that may prove to be beneficial to you at this time. Let's get 2 more and close out the reading. 12th house. Your 12th house is Pisces. Again, this is exactly what I'm talking about, of tapping into that intuitive side of you. Some of you need to meditate. Not even gonna front. Some of you need to meditate. Some of you, if you're religious and you're in church or synagogue or whatever, you need to get your faith muscle up. You definitely, and look at that. Not sure if you can see that. It says surrender. It's time for you to surrender to spirit. Like I said, and again, it's reflected in the astrology. You can't control the planetary energies. They're going to happen whatever they're going to do to your life, it's going to happen whether you want it to or not. It's about navigating it. And it's about surrendering to spirit, because spirit is not going to leave you hanging. I already told you, you're on your way to the land of milk and honey. Like, it's okay to surrender. It really is. And then finally, we have the 11th house. Okay, what I'm getting with this is that this Taurus that I was talking about before, this could really be a friend or a networking person or someone in your community that could be beneficial to you. But there's somebody who's got a clue to give you. While you're in your observation phase, there's somebody who has important information to share with you that's really going to help you out. So yeah, Aries, I mean, yes, there's some difficult and challenging energies to get through. I know you're not where you want to, I know you're not where you want to be right now, but you're on your way there. Don't forget to take some time out. Don't fight with people this month. Surrender to spirit. Tap into your intuition and follow the yellow brick road to the land of milk and honey. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. All right, Aries, that has been your reading for September 2020. I hope that you were able to get at least one message from this reading. If you'd like to book a personal tarot reading with me or order an astrology report, those links are in the description box below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Divine Feminine Works. Every week I do a series called The Week Ahead, which is just a quick and dirty tarot read on the upcoming energies for that week. I also have some pretty cool content on there, so follow me there so you don't miss that. Speaking of following, again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss all the other stuff that I put on here too, including my weekly astrology report called The Stargazer. Just like the name suggests, it's all about the weekly astrology energies for that week. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss those. Aries, as always, everything I do is from the bottom of my heart and a labor of love. If you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, that link is in the description box as well. As always, my loves, it's a privilege and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.